Hi everybody, I'm gonna be preparing a big, beautiful, upside down pecan apple pie. Now I love to have this dessert ready during the holidays. You never know who's gonna stop by to visit because you can just cut them a slice, serve it with coffee, and everybody's happy because everybody loves apple pie. Now this is a super easy recipe to put together and I know you're gonna love it. And today I'm gonna show you how to make it step by step. Let's get started. Now the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my pie crust. Now these are ingredients that I always have on hand. That's why I make it homemade. But you can use store-bought pie crust. This is going to be a double pie crust. Now in this bowl I have 2 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And it's nice and cold. I had it in the refrigerator. And I've got 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix it up really good right here like this. I have 1 cup of shortening, and this is also very cold. So I'm going to put it in here. And now I'm going to cut into it with my pastry cutter until it's nice and crumbly. You see, you want to take your time and make sure that it's real nice and crumbly like this. And you kind of want to move a little quick because you don't want it to get warm. You want it to be nice and cold. So I got it nice and crumbly. See? Now I'm going to add my icy cold water. I usually just put water with ice cubes here in a glass. I'm going to be using about 7 tablespoons of water. Okay? And you want to do it a little bit at a time. So here's 3. And then with a fork, I'm just going to bring it in together. Now I can use my food processor, but it's just going to be more dishes to wash. And this is really easy. Here's 4, 5, 6. Now you don't want it to be very wet and not too dry. See, and you don't want to overwork the dough either. You just want to bring it in together like this. And that's good. Now when you look at it, it looks real crumbly and it looks like it needs more water, but it's just perfect. I'm going to put some all-purpose flour right here on my counter and I'm going to dump it all right here. Now I'm going to bring it all in together like this. See how it starts coming in together really nice? Then I like to just turn it around like this into a nice ball. Push it down till it gets a little smooth. Just like this. See? Perfect. Now I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to make this into a ball. So I'll wrap this up. I'll do the same with this one. Wrap them both up. Now I have them both ready. I'm going to put them into the refrigerator so they can be nice and cool. I'm going to clean up my area and go on to the next step. So now that I have my pie crust nice and ready and cold in the refrigerator, I'm going to start peeling my apples. Now I have a combination of Granny Smith apples and Gala. These are nice and tart and these are a little sweeter and I like the combination, but you can use your favorite apples. I think they're all good. So I'm going to start by peeling these, see? Now you can use a apple peeler, but I think this is quick. And then I just go down like this. That's pretty easy. Now sometimes your apples are a little bruised. You want to take off the bruised part. I'm going to cut these in half. And then I'll cut them into slices like this. And then with a small knife, I just remove the inside like this. Now you don't want them too thick, but you don't want them too thin. If it's nice and thick, then you might want to cut them like this, see? And then I'm going to put them in this bowl with water to keep them from getting brown. And it works really well with water. You don't have to use lemon juice or anything. Just put them in there. See? And continue the process. So I'm done with all my apples. Look at that. I've got a big bowl full. Now these are going to shrink down. You want to keep them underwater so they won't get brown. So I'm going to clean up my area and then we can head to the stove. Now a lot of people like to prepare their apple filling by adding all the ingredients in here, like their cinnamon and their sugar and so on. And they like to just put it into their pie dish. I like to cook my apples first because I think they come out nice and plump, and that delicious caramel sauce in there is nice and creamy and thick, and it's just perfect. So I'm going to be cooking these apples first before I add them into my pie dish. Now we can take these to the stove. So I'm going to be using this pot right here, and I've got my heat set on medium. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of water and 1 cup of granulated white sugar. I'm going to mix it in together. Now you don't have to do a lot of mixing in here. It'll do it all on its own. You just want to make sure that you bring it in together real nice like this. Now you want to keep your heat at about medium. And don't be stirring it around. Just leave it alone like that until it turns into a beautiful light amber color. Now every now and then I just come in here and I just move it around a little bit like this. It'll only take a few minutes. See? Just like that. Now as you can see, it's come up to a boil, but you don't want a rolling boil. Just about like that. You want to move it around just a little bit like this. And just when you think that it's not doing anything, you're going to start seeing it pick up a little bit of color. And that's what we're looking for. So as you can see, it's a light amber color. Look at that. See how beautiful that looks? Now I'm going to add my butter. I have 6 tablespoons of butter. And I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to stir them around like this until the butter melts. So now I'm going to add my apples. Very carefully. And I'm going to stir them around like this so that they can cook. Now this is only going to take a few minutes, like maybe 12 minutes. See, you want to continue doing this non-stop like this. You'll notice that they're going to start shrinking down a little bit because they're going to start cooking. And they're also going to be releasing some of their liquid. See, we've got some of that sugar up here, but all that's going to melt really nice after a while. So it's been about 11 minutes and the apples are starting to soften up. See all that liquid they have released down here? And that's a good thing. Now in this bowl, I've got 6 teaspoons of cornstarch. I'm going to get some of this liquid right here and I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to make a little slurry. You don't want to just dump in your cornstarch in there because then it'll get real lumpy. And I'm going to mix it up really good like this. Now I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/8 of nutmeg, that's 1/8 of a teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to lower the temperature to a medium low, and I'm just going to mix everything in together like this. And I'm going to wait until this liquid gets nice and thick. And it's going to get just a little bit of a deeper color. It'll be about 1.5 minutes. So my apples are ready. It's been about 15 minutes. They're nice and hot. So I'm going to dump them right here on this cookie sheet so they can cool. I'm going to spread them out. Now you don't want to add this apple filling into your pie dish when it's hot like this, because then the bottom of your pie will get real soggy. So you want to make sure that this is nice and cool before you add it into your pie dish. So now that I have them nice and spread out like this, I'm going to set them aside and I'm going to wait until they get nice and cool before I put them into my dish. So I'm ready to put my upside down pecan apple pie together. Now my apples are nice and cool. My Ron took this whole tray and put it out in the back patio for like 3 minutes, and it was cool because it's cold outside. So those are ready. Now before I get it ready, I'm going to prepare my nutty mixture. I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter right here, half a cup of brown sugar, and 1 cup of chopped pecans. So I'm going to mix them in together in this little bowl right here. Just do the best you can. I probably should have gotten a bigger bowl. You just want to make sure that you mix them in really good. And that's good. See? It's nice and mixed in really well. Now, this is the pie dish that I'm going to be using. I have these pie dishes over here because I wanted to show you that they're all different. But you can use whichever one you want. See? This one is clear. It's a little deep. Then this one, well, these two are the same. These are my favorites. One is blue and one is green. These are the ones that I like. Now look at this one. This one is wider and it's not as deep. I don't like this one because it's too big and I like it kind of high. So I just wanted to show you how the pie dishes are different. But you can use whichever one that you want to use. Now I'm going to spray my dish with a little bit of non-stick spray. You want to use plenty of this. And I have a small piece of wax paper right here. And I'm going to put the wax paper right here in the bottom. And the non-stick spray helps it stick so it can stay in the bottom like this. See? Now I'm going to put in my nutty mixture. And I'm going to spread it. See, you want it nice and pretty like this. And that's it, just like this. So now I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to roll out my dough. It's nice and cold. I've got a little flour right here. You don't need a lot of flour. And I've got my rolling pin. So I'll put just a little flour on here. Now I have 2 pieces of parchment paper. I like to put the flour in the bottom because it slides real easy. I'm going to get this nice and floured. That's good. I'll put this right here. And this is a very easy way of rolling out your pie crust. You want to roll from the middle out. From the middle out. See? And I usually move it over here. And I just hold on to it like that. Then I turn it over. And just keep rolling it. So I got it all rolled out really nicely. Let me see. It's about 12 and a little bit inches. That's about the size that you want it to be. See how pretty that is? I'm going to save that piece of parchment paper for the next one. Now I'm just going to top it and peel it off gently. And very carefully tuck it in. You want to pick it up, push it in like this, all around. Get all that air out as best as you can. Look how pretty that is. Now I'm going to fill it. And if you have any leftover, you could use it to top your oatmeal in the morning or put it on toast. Now I like to just push it down gently because I don't want any empty pockets in there. So I just push it down gently like this. See how pretty this is? So now I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to do the same thing with this top crust. So I'm going to roll it up here. And then I'll just continue to roll it. Here's my pie. So I'm going to set it on top. Now I'm going to get the top crust and I'm going to tuck it in under the bottom one. Like that. And pinch it. So now that I'm done pinching it all the way around, I'm going to just press it down with a fork just to give it just a little bit of a look. Nothing fancy. Just like this. So now I'm going to get a knife and I'm going to make like 4 incisions up here. See, a little long, about that long, because you want some of that steam to come out. Otherwise, it'll blow up and it's got nowhere to go. And that's good, just like that. Now I've got my oven set at 400 degrees. I'm gonna put it on the middle rack, a little bit lower than the middle, for 25 minutes at 400 degrees. If you notice it getting a little dark too quick, you can just get a piece of aluminum foil and just gently cover it like this and leave it there, okay? For 25 minutes, it's gonna bake at 400 degrees. After 25 minutes, I'm gonna lower the temperature to 375 and I'm gonna let it bake for another 40 minutes. Now you want it to bake for a total of about an hour and 10 minutes. When you notice that it's nice and golden brown and it's bubbling, then you know it's ready. Now I've got a cookie sheet right here and I've got a piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna set it on top because it is gonna bubble over and you don't wanna mess in your oven. Just like this. So I'm gonna put it right in the oven and I'll see you in a little bit. So it's been an hour and 10 minutes and my pie is perfect, super hot. It's still bubbling over, so you wanna be very careful at this point. Now I'm going to turn it over onto this plate right here, very carefully. Just wanna put it on top like this. Hold your pie plate from the bottom. And then just flip it over. Ooh, that's hot. You want to be real careful because it is very hot. And you want to remove this wax paper before it gets cool because it'll be easier to remove like this. Look at that. Now, before I cut into it and show you the inside, I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. It's always best to cut your pie when it's cool because it won't run over on you, okay? Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is my homemade vanilla ice cream. I'll put a link below if you want the recipe. This will be a perfect treat for your guests when they come over to visit. Mm. Mm-hmm. The apples are firm but soft and plump. Just perfect. Sweet, unbelievable, delicious. Oh my gosh. Mm. You're gonna love this. So this is my delicious upside down pecan apple pie. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. Send me a comment and tell me what you think. Thank you.